In the beginning of World War I, America had only fought in support of the French and the British in Europe after declaring war on Germany on April 6, 1917. The American Expeditionary Force launched their first major independent offensive in Europe at the Battle of Cantigny on May 28, 1918, under command of General John Pershing as the American First Army. General John Pershing insisted that all American soldiers be well trained before entering war. While it took longer to deploy forces in France, the American Expeditionary Force was more successful because of the trained military backgrounds of their soldiers. Their first attack was a turning point in the war for the Allies because it was the beginning of the takedown of Germany in the war. During the Second Battle of the Marne in June of 1918, American Army and Marine Corps troops were crucial to the effort to stop the German march on Paris. During the successful American offensive battles of Saint-Mihiel and Meuse-Argonne, Allied forces were able to recover more than 200 square miles of French territory from the Germans. Later in the war, the American Expeditionary Force also exported troops from the 332nd Infantry to Italy and from the 27th and 339th Infantry to Russia, known as the American Expeditionary Force Siberia and the American Expeditionary Force North Russia. By the end of 1918, the American Expeditionary Force was no longer a supporting unit. Instead, they had become the primary militia unit that was now supported by the French. The American Expeditionary Force consisted of over 4 million men throughout World War I. Over 350,000 of these men were African Americans. The African American soldiers were assigned to segregated units commanded by white officers. They handled unskilled labor tasks and common labor at the camps. Only 1/5 of the black soldiers in France were involved in combat, in comparison to the 2/3 of white soldiers that saw combat. The American Expeditionary Force utilized new technologies to become more innovative than any other militia had been in the past. This signified the establishment of the United States as a military superpower.